Anybody can get it, but not everybody can keep it.
0 to 100,000, you feel broke. Then 100,000 to $1 million, you feel like
we good. We
outside.
Like you could pay yourself a much bigger salary, but guess what? That means you're gonna have to do much bigger work.
And then when you get to $1 million to 10 million, again, if you want to grow and scale it up, you're gonna kind of feel broke again.
Where am I sending money out the door?
Can we talk about what free money means?
What's the quote?
When you're doing good financially, do good financially. Do you want to learn how to get rich during a recession? Are you curious on how people were able to print money during the pandemic? Well, today we're going to be giving you the inside strategies on how to get rich no matter what the market is doing, no matter what the economy is doing, and how to not just make money, but how to maximize it and how to maintain it. All that plus more on today's episode.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show, New York edition.
New York edition.
We're in New York, man. But interesting times in New York, right?
Yeah.
So like, it took me an hour and a half to get from the airport
Yeah.
to the hotel. Hotel rates were crazy.
Crazy. Absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, y'all let us know, all right? If hotels are $2,000 a night, are we too grown to still share rooms? Like, because we've been dancing with that devil. Like we promised a couple episodes way back that we would never share a hotel room.
Yeah. But 2,000 a night.
2,000 a night is crazy.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
But we thought about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The thought of his crusty toes cracking in the morning, I just couldn't.
Hey, let me get in that bathroom, man.
I couldn't fathom it, so we had to bite the bullet. But anyways, we're up here in New York before it gets too brick. So decided to record a couple episodes for y'all.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we talking about today, man?
We're talking about how to get rich during a recession, because I feel like, a lot of people are talking about the economy is unstable, that a recession is approaching. A lot of people are getting fearful.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to do today's episode is because when the pandemic happened, a lot of people were able to print money during the pandemic. So I think that we should really educate the people on how to get rich during a recession, or how to make money no matter what the economy is doing.
Yeah.
Because we can't control the economy, but we can control what we do.
Facts. Because a lot of people, I think recently have been asking us, because we've been doing a lot of stuff, man. We've done multiple events. Not only have we done our own events, we sponsored other people's events. Shout out to Urban Golf Weekend. Yeah, that was a vibe.
Oh my God. If y'all didn't see the recap,
go
to our page.
Tell Drake he does not need to do a music video. The visuals have been secured.
Yeah.
So we've been doing our own events, sponsoring events, and just really taking our brand to the next level. And people like, yo, like that, y'all doing stuff that people was doing in the pandemic, like when the pandemic, as it was affectionately called. How are y'all still doing it at this level? And so we wanted to share some of the things that we've been doing, right? Because it's one thing to get it. Almost anybody can get it, but not everybody can keep it. It's almost like, probably a terrible analogy, but like almost anybody can have a one-night stand. The question is she gonna call you back?
Period.
Right? And so it's the same thing with building a business or building money or whatever the case may be. You have to have a plan on how you're going to keep it. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we've done. That's all we do on the show. We're going to talk about theory, some of the things that we've done that have allowed us to be good stewards over the money. All right. Yeah. So the first one is kind of obvious, right? But you have to innovate, you have to pivot, and you have to evolve.
Yep.
Right? So when the pandemic happened, it was an event that nobody expected, right? And so it created irregularities in the market, which means the pendulum swinged very, very far to one direction, right? Interest rates had got super low. There was free money in the streets, PPP, EDIL. Like it was a time, right?
Crazy time.
At iOS, before iOS 14, you could throw money at Facebook and Facebook would give you $3 back if you put in one. Like it was crazy, right? People got used to that and assumed, for whatever reason, maybe because they're new to the block, that it was going to be like that for the foreseeable future, right? And so in business, you have to recognize like what's happening, what's coming, what's around the corner, and how can I, again, still take advantage of market conditions, but not lose sight of being in position when things change.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting ways that we were able to evolve during the pandemic is like, if everything is going online, right, and we see this, then instead of shutting your doors, just pivot your business and say, okay, well, we're going to now service our clients the way they want to be served, which is from home, right? We've seen a lot of companies blow up by saying, I'm going to take what was normally brick and mortar, I'm going to find a way to make it online. Right. And then that's going to allow me not only to maintain my current revenue in this pivotal time, but to probably increase my revenue in this pivotal time. So if we are, if we see the economy going a certain way, we have to ask ourselves, how do we align our business with this shift so that our business can stay as profitable or potentially become more profitable? And I think another way, again, talking about us, a way that we took advantage of it, we said, okay, well, people are now focused on their phone. They're now focused on computers. They're now focused on online education.
Right.
So we started building out our online course catalog to be able to give the people what they needed and meet them where they are so they can still become profitable, right? People might not have been searching for online financial advisors or accountants, but they were searching for answers online.
Right.
So how can we put our business in the forefront and be able to meet the customers where they are and be able to still make a profit from it? So if you notice a shift happening in your market, you want to get ahead of it because there also is something called first movers advantage. I read a quote, I think it was yesterday. I think it was on a wall. I said, oh yeah.
At the gym.
At the gym. At the gym we was at this morning. It said, the
first person gets the oyster, the second person gets the shell.
Period.
Yep. So there is first movers advantage, right? So seeing what's happening, seeing what's around the corner, but however, not abandoning ship from the thing that got you to where you are. No one said you couldn't add and expand your revenue streams, right? Some people say, you know what, this online money getting good. Like, forget the brick and mortar or the business, the service-based business that got me here. I'm outside, I'm online, I don't want to talk to nobody, I don't want to fulfill nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Digital product, course, that's it.
Stop talking to me, bro.
Yeah, stop talking to me, right? So people got real comfortable, and again, notably so. I mean, like digital inventory is an amazing asset class because it can't expire and it's unlimited, right? So trust me, when I say like we remember, what's the Michael Jackson's time? We
remember the times,
yeah, we remember, trust me. But like one thing that I'm so glad, because I was right there with you, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was sending Carter the screenshots, I was like, yo bro, forget financial advising, bro. I was like, the merch going stupid.
And the reason we talking to y'all about this, because we were literally there.
Yeah.
We were in a place where we're making a lot of money during the pandemic. And there's a difference between like pivoting and just changing paths. Right. And we were on that trajectory. We were like, bro, like we could just sell our financial advisor firm, sell our tax business, and just go all in on the digital business. But you kept us safe because I was out.
Carter's a few years younger, ain't single, ain't got no kids. I was there mentally. I was like, oh wait, I got a wife upstairs. I got a little son on the way. Man, I might want to slow down a little bit, right? And so, fortunately, we decided to keep the service arm of our business so that as the pendulum started to swing back and people like, it's drying up out here. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were like, well, yeah, we kind of saw that coming because the people wanted people to still service them, right? They still wanted to be able to hire somebody to fulfill on the things that they wanted. So we said, well, is there a world where we don't have to swing all the way back to the right, but is there a world where there's a happy medium where we can still provide people value at scale, but still have a servicing component for those who want it? And we found a sweet spot, and that allowed us to continue to thrive through the pandemic and beyond.
What's up, family? Are you ready to make more in 2024? I'm talking make more money, pay less taxes, and get access to more capital? If so, I want you to join our 100% free masterclass where we're going to be teaching you all of these strategies so you can keep more money in your pocket and you can make your money make money for you. So if you want to be a part of this amazing free class, all you have to do is click the link below and save your spot. The problem is we only have 50 seats. So I will pause this episode, go register, and come back to it after so that you can save your seat for this masterclass. Other than that, I'll see you inside the class. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, so that's point number one. Now, point number two is interesting because I feel like we did this in two variations, which I'll expound upon in a second. So the second part is diversification. So in your business, one thing we talk about all the time is that you don't want to try to have 7 streams of income because obviously that's one of the biggest myths on the internet is that every millionaire has 7 streams of income. No, they became a millionaire through one stream and they diversified with the other 6. And one thing that we teach often is that you can find 7 streams of income in one business.
Big facts.
That's one of the best things that you can do. So one thing that we were able to do in our company, we decided to diversify income. had a membership
Right.
we can make money from, had high ticket services that we can make money from, had digital education that we can make money from, had a podcast that we can make money from, YouTube as well. So we were able to diversify our income through the same business, which I don't think enough people talk about.
Right. And even though the physical product arm that we did have,
Oh, yeah,
all
forgot about that,
it was at its core was a conduit to create awareness for what we really do.
Yeah.
Oh, normalize Black wealth. That's dope. I'm trying to normalize Black wealth too. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Well, we have a firm that can,
Yeah.
right? So it sparks conversation. So just ask yourself, how can I take the same business I have, right? Not sell bean pies and then do hair, but like, how can I diversify?
Dude, that was the blackest example ever.
How can I diversify, right, within the same business,
Yeah.
right? And that's key. Amateurs make money on the front end, pros make money on the back end, which we'll actually expound upon that on another point later in the show.
But I think another way that we diversify is diversifying our income through purchasing other assets, right? So I purchased a real estate property back in 2020 when interest rates were 2.75%.
What a time.
That is the freest money. Can we talk about what free money means?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because so when people say there's free money out there, anytime you can borrow money for 3% or less, that's essentially free money because beyond a shadow of a doubt, over the last 100 years, the S&P 500 has returned 10%.
Right.
So if I can borrow money at 3% and invest it and get 10%,
Right.
I'm literally making free cash flow off the 7% every single year off arbitrage. So free money means when you're able to borrow money for pennies on the dollar. And guys, right now we're in an interest rate environment of 6 or 7%.
Right.
So if ever that happens again, you need to be ready to borrow as much money as humanly possible.
When
When?
it happens again.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
You
When
heard-
it happens again.
Okay. When it happens again, you need to be ready to get your hands on as much money as possible so that you can use that money to invest and make literally free money off the interest rate arbitrage.
To your point about getting your hands on as much money as humanly possible is if you're doing good financially right now, go ahead and still get access to capital, right? Get access to as much capital, lines of credit as possible so that when these opportunities come up, you're like, oh, I remember Carter and George was saying, if I can borrow for this, but I can get this asset, you already have it. Like by the time the things are already in motion, it might be too late, right? Or you at least might be behind the 8 ball, especially when interest rates drop in real estate. Those properties end up going quick, right? So go ahead and have your opportunity capital on the sidelines. Like write this down. It's okay to have money that you don't need,
Yes.
right? It's okay to have money that you're not using because you have a plan to deploy it.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite sayings is instead of focusing so much time and energy on building your emergency fund, you need to focus the same amount of time and energy building your opportunity fund.
Big fact.
So you have money for emergencies, but also have money for opportunities, which is always around the corner.
Absolutely.
So one of the next things you want to do to make money in any economic season is always be willing to reinvest.
Yep.
I think the thing that people reach out to us most about I think the thing that people admire us the most about our business right now is how much money we're reinvesting into the business to build our brand in a time that people are not spending that money to build their brand.
Yep.
Because while most businesses right now are contracting, we are expanding, and it's interesting to see because some people see it as risky. We see it as an opportunity to take market share. Right? Like while everybody's being fearful, I want to be greedy.
Right.
When people are being greedy, I want to be fearful. So you can expound upon that a little bit.
And the reason why they can't be greedy is because they didn't do the right things with the money when they had it, right? So instead of using the money to reinvest into the business, they was reinvesting into Dior, they was reinvesting into Lambos, they was reinvesting into too much house, right? And those are all, again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. Like those things aren't mutually exclusive. If you like drip, if you like nice things, that's cool. I like to put it on too. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know.
That's a $3,000 outfit you got on right now.
I mean, you got to talk numbers. You know what I'm saying? But it's a black design. Shout out to Rich Fresh. If I'm going to spend $3,000. But our point is, we had an opportunity, and I think we talked about this a couple podcast episodes ago, because when we were in a very high margin place, we were good to the money. It's like, cool, we're good personally. We can afford right now to invest in our business in a way that might not make sense to others, right? But it's not for them to understand, it's for them to see, right? Because here's the thing. You have two types of marketing. Well, you have multiple types, but two main types. You have the type of marketing that is, I'm trying to spend this money to acquire a customer, which we do a lot of, by the way. Don't get twisted, right? And then there's marketing that says, hey, look, I want to be synonymous with whatever it is that I do in this industry. So wherever they pop up at this event, they know you from somewhere. Because what happens is, if somebody's in the market for a financial advisor or CPA, right, generically, and they see us and they see a regular person, even if our skill sets are equal, which they're not, but let's keep it a buck, right? Yeah. But even if they were, they're going to choose us more than likely because the trust factor of how much they've seen us, right? It's like when I tell the story all the time, but like when I went to Shanghai in 2018, I don't eat McDonald's. But the reason why I ate McDonald's when I got there is because I was familiar with McDonald's, right? So the level of brand awareness marketing that we're doing right now is to build trust in the marketplace, which will help us acquire more market share when compared to other options. Same thing if you go to the grocery stores. Like I see this, if I see, what's that, Silk brand of milk versus Food Line, I'm probably gonna buy Silk. Yeah. They might be the same ingredients, but I know the brand. A hit song is not made, it's marketed.
Period. And I think one of the most powerful examples that I can think of this is I was watching The Big Short a couple months ago. Classic movie. If you haven't watched The Big Short, it's a phenomenal movie about the markets and investing. And in one particular part, it showed how Warren Buffett was able to gain massive market share in a lot of companies because they needed capital to survive. Distressed. And Warren Buffett was like, all right, I'll give you this money. Right. I'll bail you out, but I need this percentage of the company, right? And people make irrational decisions when they need money. Right. So I look at it the same way. Like, we're buying market share right now, and we're saying like, we're gonna get it while nobody's marketing. We're gonna get it while nobody's advertising. We're gonna take over Facebook while it's a little bit more expensive because nobody else is advertising right now, right? And I was just able to witness how much market share he was able to gain, and now 3-4 years later, he's made a 4 or 5x return on his investment because nobody was being greedy, everybody was being fearful. So if you can find ways to reinvest into your business when nobody else is doing it, or reinvest into your brand while your competitors are contracting. Right. This is how you make leaps. We're not talking about this is how you make normal jumps. This is how you make exponential quantum leaps in the market share and in your business as well. Yeah, but you just have to have what I like to call the economic stamina to do it. But if you don't have the capital on hand, then you won't have to play it safe. Yeah. Right? So I think it's gonna lead right into our next point, which I believe is stewardship, right? Yep. Be good to the money, or what's the quote? When you're doing good financially, do good financially. Yeah. Right. So shout out to our good friend Kenny Conwell for that one. But like, again, I think we've kind of peppered this throughout the sentiments of what we already said. But the moral of the story is you have a social security number, your business has a tax ID number, right? People often say, my business is like a baby. Well, if you had a baby, right, what would happen to that baby if it needed 6 ounces, but you only gave it 2? Yeah. Right, baby not gonna grow, the baby gonna be malnutrition, somebody gonna call Child Protective Services. Yeah. Right? So it's the same thing with your business, right? Like when the money is flowing, when the cash flow is strong, you have to be responsible and a great steward over those resources, right? Like you could pay yourself a much bigger salary, right? But guess what? That means you're gonna have to do much bigger work. Or you could say, you know what? Let me use this capital because I was good to the money when it was good to me to acquire more top talent, right? People who can help my business grow. And I have those resources available to do it because when I was doing good financially, right, I did good financially. How much should somebody reinvest into their business? How much should somebody reinvest into their business? Like percentage-wise. Percentage-wise. And I think, I personally think it changes. Yeah, I think how much, but depending on how much your business is making. Yeah. But I'm curious to hear your answer, and I'll give mine as well. I would say, if you're below 7 figures. Like, so 0 to 100,000. 0 to 100,000. I mean, that's a hot take. But 0 to 100,000, I would say you need to, with the money that you do and reinvest, let's call it 20%, you need to reinvest it all into marketing and sales. Yeah. Right? No websites, no branding, no operations. You get outside and you just do whatever you can to get customers, right? 0 to 100. 100 to 7. And I would just say, I mean, let's go piece by piece. Back and forth. Yeah. 0 to 100,000, I think 80% of the money needs to be reinvested into the business. Fair. Because 2 things. Number 1, you shouldn't have that many personal expenses. Fact. Because the personal expenses that you do have, a lot of them could be paid by the business because now you're a business owner. And you, like, if you haven't afforded the right to start having fun yet.
Yeah, it's almost like you're on the blackjack table, right? You got 2 chips, bro.
Yeah, 2 chips. Like put it all back. If you lose it all, you don't have that much to lose. So like, in my opinion, if it's 0 to 100,000, bro,
that's fair. I agree.
80% of the money goes back into the business. 20% is for fun or investing outside of the business, because no investment has ever gave me
nobody
in a higher return on investment than reinvesting into my business.
100%.
So 10% of the stock market is cool, or 400%
big fact
in your business.
Big facts, right? So I agree with that wholeheartedly. 80%, like put it all as much as you can back in.
Yeah.
Right. 100 to 7 figure. You got business now, right? Okay, cool. Like you want to be a little bit more responsible. I would venture to say about 30. I would say 20 to 40%.
So 100,000 to $1 million.
100,000 to $1 million, I say 20 to 40. Here's why I say that, right? Because now, like when you were investing in 80, you were putting everything back in the business. You were probably depriving yourself. You probably
personal investment.
Probably you loving personal credit. You were doing so. This is your recalibration phase. This is your phase where if you decide you want to stay here, stay comfortable, cool. You need to make sure the business has healthy margins, but you want to take some chips off the table, right? So you can take home upwards of 60%, depending upon the business that you have. Assuming it's service or consulting or something like that.
That's still $400,000 reinvested into the business. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, right? So it's between 20 to 40%, depending upon where you're trying to go, right? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Scale phase, right? Which we talked about a little bit on a previous episode, but like at this phase,
so it's $1 million. This is like $1 million to $3 million.
$1 million, I would say 10. I would say
$1 million to $10 million. Okay.
$1 million to $10 million, right? I would say, and this is probably on the upper end. Right, but I would say if you know that you want to build a business that you can exit one day, and that's the only reason why you would enter the scale phase. Yeah, I would say 50 to 60%.
Yeah,
that's what I would say because you got to hire more people, right? You got to hire in advance of the need to handle the fulfillment that you're anticipating through scale. Right, you got to spend money to acquire customers before you get them. Right, you got to invest if you have a physical product business, you got to invest in inventory proactively. So
and to maintain $1 million or $5-10 million runway, you're going to spend 20% of your money to go towards advertising. Period. So that's already 20% gone right there.
Yeah. So you're looking at 50, 60%. If you want to do it, you ain't got to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to feel, this is a very interesting phase because it's going to feel like should I have done it? Right.
You're going to feel kind of, it's so funny because evolution of business, you're going to feel kind of broke again. Yeah. Like 0 to 100,000, you feel broke. Then 100,000 to $1 million, you feel like
we good.
We outside. And then when you get to $1 million to $10 million, again, if you want to grow and scale it up, you're going to kind of feel broke again because you're going to like be reinvesting, 6.
Yeah. And depending upon your goals, I mean, it could be 1 to 25 million, right? Yeah. But the more the stories, whatever, there's going to be a coming inflection point where you have to spend enough money to get your business to a point where it can run without you.
Yeah.
Right? And whether you decide to sell it or not at that point is up to you, but it's going to cost you 50 to 60% of your profit to do it.
Yeah. The good news is if you're making $2-3 million a year and you say, I'm going to take 10% to invest outside of my business, that's still $300,000 a year you can put into the stock market every year. That's still $300,000 a year you can put into real estate. Again, wealth is made through concentration, preserved through diversification. Fact. So you're concentrating, reinvesting into the business, but you're diversifying with that 10, 15, 20%, putting in the stock market, putting in the real estate and things like that so you can preserve your income. But like, people are not throwing money, the people are not reinvesting money heavily outside of their business if they want to solve the money problem fast. Fact. I think that's a big misconception. People are like, I'm gonna take this money from my business and I'll pour it all into real estate. But you're starving the thing that got you here. You know what I'm saying?
Starving it's like having a hose, right, that can produce all this water, and then you stifle the hose, right? Like it makes no sense, right? Like get all don't. What's the quote? It's like you have sometimes you got to cut off streams to create a waterfall, right? Don't starve the waterfall. Yeah. Use the waterfall to buy other income streams. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But you can never do that if you don't build the waterfall.
Yeah. And the transparency moment, I really caught myself doing this a lot last year. Like before we did the full merger of us coming together, I was like, dude, I was investing like 6 figures a month. Yeah. Into the stock market. Just taking it up into my business. And I was like, yo, like, and I did the return calculator. I'm like, this, what I'm doing is good. But like, if I just don't do this, I could put more money into business. I will probably end up making more money to reinvest later.
No probably about it.
Yeah, it was a probably about it. So I had to cut myself off. I was like getting so hype about putting all this money into the stock market. I was like, yo, like, this is giving me 10%, but Facebook is giving me 200% return on investment right now. So I'll probably just take this money out the stock market and reinvest it in growing a business.
But we talked about another episode too. Everything happens as it should because the confidence to do it at this phase, because it's a new phase for us, right? It's like, it's a security blanket of the decisions that were made in that season.
Yeah.
Right. So I know we keep referencing the episodes. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. We break down the different phases of business: start, growth, scale, exit. But yeah, so like, be good to the money, then you can be good to your business, and ultimately you can grow the asset that has the ability to help you build more wealth than anything humanly possible.
Yeah. Now this next point is interesting because I don't see a lot of small businesses doing it.
Mhm.
I see a lot of big businesses doing it. And obviously, if we want to become a big business, we need to follow in their footsteps.
Correct.
Which is vertical integration.
Yep.
Vertical integration, at least my definition, is how do you integrate multiple revenue streams that your customer is going to need on their journey, and they don't need to go anywhere else.
Right.
So, for example, Apple, you buy the iPhone. Okay, cool. Now I want to listen to music. Now you purchase a subscription to Apple Music. Oh, I need to listen to music without people hearing it outside of my phone. I need to buy AirPods. Okay, and then like now I'm working with the same company to solve the problem, to solve multiple problems. So the first problem, I need a cell phone. The second problem, I need music. I got the music. Third problem is I need to listen to my music without people hearing it. So I buy AirPods. And like, how do I have my business become the problem and solution cycle for my customer, right? If you want to purchase a real estate property, okay, how can if I'm a real estate agent, I need to have a loan officer because my clients don't need a loan. I'm gonna find a way to make money off the loan officer. I'm also gonna, the client probably needs furnishing, so I'm gonna have a furnishing partner that I give to my clients, and I'm giving them all the solutions to the problem, but I'm also making a crazy ton of money on the back end, right? Which I think is really important because all business is a problem solution cycle.
Correct.
Every solution that you create for your customer creates another problem. And if you can strategically put yourself in position to solve the next problem, that's how you increase the LTV of a customer.
Oh, 100%. One of the easy ways I think you can do is look at your P&L and say, where am I sending money out the door, right? And how can I turn my largest expenses into my profit centers, right? So for those of you who don't know, we do some amazing events throughout the year. So this year I had an aha moment
A big aha moment.
Right, as we're signing these invoices, signing our life away with these invoices one after one. I was like, we should probably have an equity stake in an event planning business. Not because we want to be in the business of event planning, but I want to be in the business of making money from anything I spend money on, right? So how can I look at the areas that I have to spend money on as a core part of my business offering and find a way to profit from it, right? If you make t-shirts and you've been ordering blanks from somebody else or getting it screen printed somewhere else, you might want to own the printing, right? You might want to bring that in-house, right? If you throw events, you might want to have an equity stake in an event planning business or an event space, right? So where is money going out the door and how can I turn that into a profit center? Meaning that even when I'm not using it, because I have an equity stake, no matter who else is using that business, I make money from it. We have a podcast. We got to do this once a week for the foreseeable future. We've been doing it for three years straight. It might make sense for us to build a studio. That's what we're doing. Right? And then other people ultimately will be able to use that studio. So look at where you're spending, what's preventing you from the profit margins that you would like, and ask the question. It's not going to always be the case, but actually ask yourself, which of these things can I benefit from and can I profit from, and how can I add that into the ways in which I make money in my business?
Yeah, and it's all it takes is a little bit of thinking, right? Like where's the money going, and how can I make more money from it, or what? Like, then you also look at how much money are you sending out the door for referrals? Like one thing that we're heavy on in 2024 and gonna be heavier on in 2025.
That's scratch. Leaving with something.
Leaving with something, because like if you're referring clients to somebody or referring business to somebody, you're helping them save money because they have client acquisition costs. And you're taking their client acquisition costs from $1,000 a client, $100 a client to zero. So they have the money to acquire, they have the money, the budget to pay somebody to help them acquire a client. So one thing that we're doing, like we're referring anybody to anyone, we need some of that back end scratch, man.
Need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's just business, right? 101. Right. And if you're smart, like I would do that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. You mean to tell me that all I gotta do is show up because your trust made them want to work with me? Yeah, let's do that every day of the week. Let's do it twice on Sunday.
Yeah. So like, just like these apps, like I was looking at I have the Calm app on my phone.
30%.
Yeah, and it's like, hey man, send this to a friend. You get a free month, and they get 30% off. It's like, okay, cool. Like, so y'all gonna like give me a reward for like referring something I was already go refer anyway. Cool. If PayPal literally built their entire business off the framework of if you refer somebody, you get $100 and they get $100. Dropbox, if you refer somebody, you get a free gig, they get a free gig. If these major multi-million billion-dollar companies are building their business off getting that scratch off both ends, why wouldn't you do it?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So.
Easy money. I think those are major talking points, bro. So just to reiterate on some of the ways to become rich in any recession, and to not let the market determine your cash flow. You want to innovate and pivot when it's time to do so. You want to diversify your revenue streams. You want to be a steward over the money, aka be good to the money when the money is good to you. You want to reinvest your money into your business. You want to be fearful when people are greedy and be greedy when people are fearful. And you want to vertically integrate, aka get the scratch from everything and everybody in your business. And again, those are ways to make money in every season. And whether it's a recession or economy boom, you will be able to stabilize your income and continue your journey to financial freedom.
Big facts. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Mel and the Money Show. We can't wait to see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.